What you're currently watching right now is Battlefield 1 Operations. Probably one of the most popular game modes in Battlefield 1. This was basically the combination of Rush and Conquest put together, and the result would be two teams having an epic battle for supremacy and gaining ground. It was probably one of my favorite game modes to play, and it was also one of the easiest game modes to get a shit ton of points on. Operations to me was just that. It was fun. It was gritty. It was everything you'd want a game mode to be. You know, or a World War I type game mode to be. It was two teams. One of them was the attacking. One of them was the defending. It actually had historical accuracy to it, with the two factions going after each other. Like in this particular clip, it was the Russians and the Germans fighting each other, with the Germans attacking. And in other modes, it was the French and the Germans. In other modes, it was the Italians and the Austro-Hungarians, the Americans and the Germans, the British. And it was just, everything about this game mode screamed World War I. It was just perfect. This game mode to me was just, it had issues. It had issues, don't get me wrong, but it was more player-based issues than game issues. But the game mode to me was just super fun. You know, it was easy. This was probably one of the easiest, ways to medic. I would get a shit ton of medic points playing this game mode, because all I would do was revive people in maps like this one, where all I had to do was pull out the sweeper and go to work. It allowed people to play their class for the most part properly, although most of the time we would run into teams, half of them would be sniping, the other half would try to attack. I would be the attacking half, but yeah, so it's basically, a hell of a game mode. It was definitely one of the most popular game modes, as I said, and it was so popular that DICE decided to bring it back. And when it first came back, I was saying to myself, we're going to have Operations back now. Once again, two teams having an epic battle, or having an epic conflict, an epic battle of sorts. It allowed for strategy. It allowed for just epic slug matches. Like, for instance, even and by slug matches I mean like in this map here, Verdun Heights. Once you get to the last sector, that B point is such a bitch to take, it's not even funny. And it's so hard to take that, goddamn, you'll lose entire battalions and attacks. And that's the other thing that made Operations fun. It was simple. The attacking team had a certain amount of tickets, and if those tickets were bled out, they would lose the attack. They would then have two other attacks, and this would keep going on for 2 or 3 maps, depending on what operation you were playing. The only operation map that had 3 points though was or had 3 maps was the desert maps, which I forgot what it was called. But it was basically the British and the Ottoman Empire going after each other. Oil of Empires, that was the name of it. I forgot about it. But yeah, the rules were incredibly simple, and they made sense. If you lose all your tickets, you don't move on, and you have to stay where you are. For some reason, Battlefield 5 has to make things so much more difficult than they have to be. And I'll tell you why. Because once Grand Operations compared to Battlefield 1's version of Operations, the first iteration, I would take Battlefield 1's version over Battlefield 5's any day of the week. Because in Battlefield 5, I find Grand Operations to probably be the worst game mode, or one of the worst game modes in the entire game. For a variety of reasons. One, it puts the attacking team at a severe disadvantage due to position. And by that I mean this. For instance, if you're dropping down on Narvik, you really don't have a choice but to drop down literally right on enemy positions. And because you're dropping down at enemy positions, the enemy's already going to be there. They're going to be shooting at you. Hell, I've even been shot out of the sky, which is bullshit, as I'm, parachuting down. It's ridiculous and full-on fucking stupid, in my opinion. So the attacking team's already at a severe disadvantage. And then instead of everyone having like some sort of bomb to arm the artillery pieces like you see here in this part of the mode, instead, DICE decides you have to actually go all the way to the back of your spawn, take the bomb, run all the way up to the enemy who is already in position, and you're going to get fucking shot at. And this will happen for pretty much all of the points. It makes no sense. I don't know why it was done. I like the concept of dropping down out of the sky. However, the whole point of paratroopers were supposed to be dropping down behind enemy lines and finding ways to get to those enemy lines to attack. Where in the fucking history does it ever say that paratrooper troops jumped down and were jumped down right in front of an enemy position only to be mowed down by enemy machine guns and whatnot? I can't think of anything. I can't think of any of a scenario such as that, because it probably rarely happened if, commanding officers knew what they were doing. But that's besides the point. The point I'm trying to make is operations already put you at a severe disadvantage in position. Now, this is what I don't get. Why in the fuck, and please explain to me, why in the fuck, if the enemy loses an attack, like for instance, if they get past, if they pass or if they fail the attacking the artillery pieces, they still move on to the next part of the match, which is a version of real operations, or what they call breakthrough, with capturing points. Excuse me. So, okay, I understand that it weakens, maybe you might have more tickets or something. That part I understand. However, somehow, some way, the enemy still loses the next part of the attack, which is, operations. I'm referring to Narvik, by the way, if you don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, so the enemy loses the second part. At that point, in my opinion, if we were being logical about this, the enemy should no way, shape, or form move on to the next map yet. In Battlefield 5, that doesn't happen. Even if the enemy still loses in the first or second attack, depending on what they do first. If they drop down from the sky, obviously they're going to move on. If they fail at the next part, for some reason it moves on to the next map. And if for some reason the defending team is put at a disadvantage because now they have to actually get their shit together because they have moved on to the next map, and if the enemy still wins, and the enemy still has a chance to win. Operations, as you can see, was much more simple. I know I kind of explained it kind of shitty, but the point I'm trying to make is Operations was much more straightforward. In Operations, you had two teams. They had 3 chances to win with a certain amount of tickets. Battlefield 5, it's all fucking convoluted and fucked up, and it's even if you're the defending team, in my opinion, has no fucking chance to even pull out a victory, especially if they're on a shit team. So even if they do somehow win in the first map, in like the first or second day, they will still move on to the next map and have a chance to lose. What they should have done, and by they I should say DICE. What DICE should have done is they should have done the battalion system, where even if you fail, you can still move on if you win the next attack. But instead, it's all convoluted with the whole day 1, day 2, day 3 bullshit. No, it's bullcrap and it's annoying. It makes absolutely zero sense, in my opinion. So basically what I'm trying to say is, Grand Operations is incredibly convoluted, pretty much puts the defending team at a disadvantage no matter what, and it just makes Operations less fun. Operations, as I said before, is my favorite game mode in Battlefield 1. This isn't Operations to me. This is bullshit. Because as you can see, somehow, some way, we got pushed to our last objective because the enemy team somehow, I don't even fucking know, they somehow allowed the enemy team to move on and have a chance to beat us. That's all I'm trying to say. All I'm trying to say is Grand Operations compared to Battlefield 1 is no contest. Battlefield 1's operations still reign superior, and anyone who thinks otherwise, well, tell me why down in the comments section. As far as I'm concerned, Battlefield 5's operations is a massive fucking failure. Anyway, my name is Ed0626. I hope you guys enjoyed the gameplay today. I hope you guys enjoyed the commentary, and let me know what you think down in the comments. Have a good one.